We are going to do an endocrine rebalance so that we can have happy hormonal balance. Hormones determine how well we feel, and that includes how miserable to how happy. And if you've not been feeling well, an endocrine rebalance could be just the trick. Before I go any further, I want to say that for women, the magic stone when it comes to endocrine balance is moonstone. It does wonders in every respect. And so if you are struggling with hormonal balance, moonstone is the key. You can wear a moonstone necklace, you can keep it in your pocket, deal with moonstone, work with moonstone. It's a wonderful help for endocrine issues, ranging all the way from pregnancy and having a healthy pregnancy to getting through perimenopause and menopause. Just a wonderful support. So we're going to do this endocrine rebalance, and this time I want to use a diagram, a drawing of the person, because the endocrine rebalance requires quite a lot of stones, and so I'm going to use my proxy crystal and keep it on this Shungite bed, and I'm going to actually add some salt because salt goes well. And it's a good idea to do something to do with the liver, give the liver some support before going forward with this kind of technique. The liver is very important in helping with hormonal balance and dealing with hormonal issues, especially when it's relating to stress. And then I have my diagram of the person because I need to use and place all these stones, and this is not big enough. And I don't have little tiny versions of all these stones, and don't need to have, because I'm going to proceed in this way. And we keep it all connected like so. And we can put a little extra support here. It keeps the information flowing. Feeling nice, feeling very good, and we can begin, assuming that other prep has been done, and we can begin. Now, because I have to do these proxy sessions on myself, I will just say that for men you would be using blood calcite and placing it along the inguinal line, which is there where the leg joins the abdomen. That's the inguinal line, so you would be placing it there. But I am not a man, you may have noticed, and so that's just a demo for if you're working on a man. And I'm going to begin here, these two spots that correspond to the ovaries. And this endocrine rebalance is a great procedure for learning crystal surgery, because you have to do a lot of gridding where you create a grid and a nest, and then you place the stone. And so I'm gridding the ovaries with Tangerine quartz. And then I place Carnelian on the ovaries. Wonderful. Next, I grid the adrenals with Mottramite. I find an active point, and then I make a grid on the adrenals. And I don't do both together, I do one at a time, because I want to check their health as I'm going and their response, and I can feel that my adrenals are a little flat. Gee, I wonder why. With the amount of disruption and stress we're all having, I'm just going to do another grid to liven that up. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm getting a little answering spark, and that's what I want to feel. That there it's my adrenals are waking up I didn't actually feel a sensation in my back corresponding to where my adrenals are. So then, having done that, I place the Mottramite on the adrenals. Very good. And I love it when the stones connect with each other. Next, I want to do a grid over the thymus where I'm going to place Larimar. And the thymus is over here, high heart, and I use Aquamarine, and I've got this fancy one, and I grid the thymus gland. Good. And then I place the Larimar there. And look how well this is all fitting and staying connected. And I can actually feel the energy building in myself. Our next friend is the thyroid gland, located here in the throat. And again, I use Aquamarine to do the grid. And the gridding just wakes everything up and creates a nest of connection for the stone. It's very nice. It's a very good experience for feeling how the stones work. And the nice thing about the endocrine system is it's got a good match with the chakra system. It even can be considered to be the bridge between the chakra system and the physical body. Next, I take a piece of Moldavite. This is my fancy Moldavite. And then I grid the third eye, and there's a lot of glands there, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the pineal. Pretty important. And that I can feel is also a stressed area on myself. And again, gee, what a surprise. There we go. Nice. And then I like to place this Moldavite there. Beautiful. And then I have this nice piece of salt that's got this little indentation, and I like to place it over. Usually we put the salt between the stones in an in-person layout. That's why I've put the salt here on the proxy crystal. And we don't need it. The stones are connecting and touching. And I can tell you, I can feel as if my head wants to lift off. The energy is so strong. Now I want to also grid the crown chakra. And so let me move this all back. And again, I use my Moldavite. And that's why I have a second piece for placing on the third eye. And I do not usually put another stone on the crown chakra. I usually just put salt there. That's it. But I grid with the Moldavite. Good. Place that there. I'll take this piece of salt here as a little salt cherry on top. And there we are. And we can leave that layout in position while moving on with the rest of the healing session, and it will continue to invigorate and strengthen the endocrine system as one continues. And the action of this technique, this procedure, goes on for 48 hours after you do it. So it keeps on building on itself and building on itself for an additional 48 hours. Excellent.